just like us when we're sober. I must be drinking all the time, 'cause my new bed set is a sofa again, and your new bed lamp is a neon sign. The boots you got me for my birthday are walking my ass home again. Jumped out your car on the freeway again. It's how I broke these damn things in. If I could taste the look on your face, I'd spit it out on the floor, far from where I left my pride. You just like us when we're sober, you say. It's why I'm drinking all the time. Well, empty bottles don't ask questions. I guess I'll leave that up to you. You roll the dice with your lessons all the time. It's fun to play when you can't lose. If I could taste the look on your face, I'd spit it out on the floor, far from where I left my pride. You just like us when we're sober, you say. It's why I'm drinking all the time. Passed out on the floor, took a look under the rug. Someone swept last night away when we were drunk. Empty beds, empty bottles since we met. Well, I would say I'm sorry, but I know you just forget. If I could taste the look on your face, I'd spit it out on the floor, far from where I left my pride. You just like us when we're sober, you say. It's why I'm drinking all the time. I think music could be a lot of things, but it's art for me. It's life. It is the it's humanity. It's struggle and hardship and conflict. It can be all these different things, and it doesn't even have to be any of those things. It could be nostalgia. For some people, you know, you hear you listen to some music that maybe it's something you listened to when you were a kid, and you don't really listen to it anymore, but all of a sudden you hear it, and it triggers a memory. But yeah, I think it could be all those things. For me, like I said, for me, it's music is life. It's my life, and music is also something that you can decide what it is for you, you know, and what it means to you. I think all art is like that. You know, it's about passing a feeling from one person to another. It's about an audience or a listener or an observer interpreting something for themselves, that a message that an artist has put out there. And it doesn't always have to be specific or like this answer. but no, I just think music is art, and I think without music and without art, I don't even know. My mind couldn't even fathom that. It would be a pretty boring place, but I think it would be even worse than just really boring. People would not be able to have outlets to express themselves and to tell their stories.
Homecoming show a few years ago, a pool hall where we used to rain. We had a few beers and caught up on the years. We laughed at how nothing has changed. Dad works overtime, comes home late at night, and Mother's got migraines again. The U.S. Marines are at war overseas, so brother writes home now and then. Nothing has changed, it's the same old shit. You know just how this town is. Well, I can't complain, but even if I did, who'd want to hear me then?
I was living in New Orleans. My wife and I were living in New Orleans, and we had been married for, I guess, about a year, and we wanted to leave New Orleans. And I love the city; it's still probably my favorite city. But and tons of music there, really rich musical culture, but not necessarily the music that I was trying to do. There wasn't a whole lot I found for me as a singer-songwriter that leaned a little country-ish. My buddy Ben Delacour, he moved to Nashville about a month before I did, and he came back to visit New Orleans, and I just ran into him, and we talked all night about Nashville, and he's the one that pretty much convinced me. He was like, "Man, you got to come and check it out." And so we came, and I tell people that it's probably the best decision I ever made was moving here. I mean, I haven't made a lot of great decisions, but definitely the best one I made was moving here. And I think it has to do more. It's more than just the music, and it's the people that make up this city, and the music is there and the industry is there, but it's like this, almost like this trickle down that, because the industry attracts all these beautiful, creative minds and all these different facets of life, not just music, but it's. I tell people that if tomorrow I woke up and I could never play music again, I would still totally live in Nashville because I love it that much, and it's just an inspiring place to be. There's a lot of people that are motivated, and there's a lot of people who are trying to, live their most musical life here, and it's you feed off that creative energy.
Bottle broke her balance, the cricket broke her back, economics broke her town, and the pills picked up the slack. She used to watch the airplanes, smile until it hurt, till fear of heights and city lights kept her grounded in the dirt. It's a wonder this old town's still standing. I wonder she's still standing too. All the trailers look like tombstones on the Lee County line, but hell, she looks good for the hell that she's been through. Prescriptions fixed with back pains, whiskey fixed her coke, waiting on the man she loved to fix what he once broke. Now she fights to make a living at the Seminole Cafe, while the hard pines and welfare lines get longer every day. It's a wonder this old town's still standing. Wonder she's still standing too. All the trailers look like tombstones on the Lee County line, but hell, she looks good for the hell that she's been through. She looks good for the hell that she's been through. Like a shooting star, her tea-light flame in Lee County, you burn out just the same. Behind smoker's cough and hometown fame, it's just a girl who loved to watch the planes. It's a wonder this old town's still standing. Wonder she's still standing too. All the trailers look like tombstones on the Lee County line, but hell, she looks good for the hell that she's been through. She looks good for the hell that she's been through. She looks good.
I was brought up in Louisiana in the South, and my parents were very conservative Christian, and we were in church every Sunday, and my dad sang in the choir, and there's a lot of singing at the services and whatnot, and so for as long as I can remember, that's probably the earliest memory is church music, choir stuff. And my parents always listened to like gospel music and old country music. And I remember I didn't even know anything else even existed until I was, in elementary school and probably third or fourth grade. And then I started, you start discovering other stuff, and you think what your parents listen to isn't cool anymore. And once I started kind of like rebelling from my parents, it was like Guns N' Roses and Metallica and Slayer and stuff like that. And but then I got a little bit older, and I discovered artists that like Graham Parsons and Uncle Tupelo and Jay Farrar and Jeff Tweedy and Sunvault and Wilco and these. It was like these country-ish artists, but they were still rock and roll enough to where at the time I was like, oh, this is acceptable. I can do this. It's not the twangy, stuff that my parents listened to. But eventually that brought me back to like the twangy stuff that my parents listened to. And now that's pretty, it makes up a lot of what I listen to now. So I love traditional country, a lot of classic country, a lot of the old Guy Clark, Townes Van Zandt, guys like that, Bob Dylan, the songwriters, Warren Zevon, Leonard Skinner, I don't know, the Stones. It'd probably be easier to tell you what I don't like. I like rap, and I listen to some pop music too, and I'm kind of all over the place, but yeah, right now, I still listen to all that stuff.
They boarded up the windows, drove east out to Picayune. Some folks they stayed behind to drown in 80 proof. And Claiborne's got a sweetheart and a house down on St. Roch. He loved both for 50 years, the day the music stopped. Well, I know what it means, yeah, I know what it means. I've seen the punch train dancing in our streets. Well, I know what it means, yeah, I know what it means. Tell Mr. Armstrong I know what it means. The good Lord don't seem willing, and the water is on the rise. The guard came to save the day, half-cocked and weary-eyed. They're drinking down at Johnny White's, they're dried up on St. Roch. Time stood still 1:45, the day the music stopped. Well, I know what it means, yeah, I know what it means. I've seen the punch train dancing in our streets. Well, I know what it means, yeah, I know what it means. Tell Mr. Armstrong I know what it means. There's Frigidaires in the driveways, a revelation in the sky. The president on vacation while the newsman's telling lies. And Claiborne's got his sweetheart in his house down on St. Roch. They found them 2 weeks after the day the music stopped. Well, I know what it means, yeah, I know what it means. I've seen the punch train dancing in our streets. Well, I know what it means, yeah, I know what it means. Tell Mr. Armstrong I know what it means. Tell Louis Armstrong that I know what it means.
Early on, I really got into this band called the Drive-By Truckers when I was in college, and it was right around the time that I started to write songs, and it really struck me because they were a rock band, but they were writing country-ish type songs, which I grew up on, and they were writing songs about the South, which I related to, because other than like Leonard Skinner, which I'd listened to, as a kid, nobody. I mean, there were Southern bands, but nobody was writing songs about the South in the way these guys were, and it was very socially conscious, and they had a real message to their songs. They were just trying to, I think, put the message out there, and still are, that not everybody in the South is racist or illiterate, or some of these things that people elsewhere think about Southerners. They were standing up for the South in their songs, and I had never seen anything like that before, and they quickly became my favorite band, and pretty influential on my songwriting as well. I just agree with their message, and as far as political songs go, I guess every song I write is political to an extent, but it's not openly. But there's some social messages there if you read between the lines, and it's just something that I never thought you could do in that way. I mean, I know a million people did it, but like I said, they were sort of the first to take it to the next level, writing specifically about Southerners and Southerners who maybe felt alienated for a long time growing up around, some of the stuff that you're forced to deal with. The American music started here.
We laugh it away, say nothing's changed. We laugh it away, say nothing's changed. Homecoming show 1 year ago, with faces familiar and strange. We sin till we're sober, then got our foreclosure. Forgives us a way. Sawmill shut down, chops sent out of town. Lumber don't sell like it did. Mother's got 1 foot with 5 more to go. Brother is strung out again. Nothing has changed, it's the same old shit. You know just how this town is. Well, I can't complain, even if I did. Who'd want to hear me then? We laugh it away, say nothing's changed. We laugh it away, say nothing's changed. Homecoming show a few years ago, a pool hall where we used to rain.
Well, the first actual song that I put together, lyrics, music, and everything, it wasn't until I was in college. I had always, like I said, played guitar as the hobby, and got to college, started jamming with some guys, and we would get together, and we didn't have a singer, and we thought if we found a singer, maybe we could be an actual band. And so we auditioned people, which is hilarious to think about now. But nobody ever fit. And one day I said, I'll just start singing for the time being until we find a real singer. And then that's when I started writing songs. We had some music, and I just wrote some lyrics just to kind of go along with the music we already had, because then we thought, well, if we get some songs now that we're a band, maybe one day we could play a show in front of people.
$40 break, jobs across the street, $40 in the tank, 4 hours of sleep. Got a truck stop diet on a beggar's budget, a Bible on the dash with your picture above it. You hate to sleep alone, so you're counting the stars. I piss away potential in a Birmingham bar. Say I'm coming home to hold you tonight. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. And I'll never be Bob Dylan. And hey, hey, rock and roll never die. Well, I'd be fine just breaking even. But the God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. Checkout time at the Mayfair Inn, key lime walls and a bottle of gin. Left a broken bed alarm in room 105. My younger days in a haze behind. Call from Tuscaloosa, say I'm doing alright. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. And I'll never be Bob Dylan. And hey, hey, rock and roll never die. Well, I'd be fine just breaking even. But the God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. And I'll never be Bob Dylan. And hey, hey, rock and roll never die. Well, I'd be fine just breaking even. But the God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie. The God's own truth is it's the devil's own lie.